Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are watching Marat Grigorian versus Superbon number 3. This is for an interim belt within 1FC kickboxing rules. These guys have faced each other 2 times before. The first time, Marat Grigorian delivering a pretty brutal knockout via hands. The second time, Superbon shutting him down with just a technical display that was amazing. So we're getting the third matchup today. The champion at this weight class, Chingiz Alazov, is out. He's been taking a break. He's defeated both these fighters, beat Superbon for the belt with a big first round KO. Marat Grigorian starting fast, using that signature move or signature style of pressuring forward high guard. He had a lot of trouble last time getting around Superbon's lead leg front kick and his long guard. Let's see if he can get anything new done today. So far, he's unable to land anything big. Nice knee from Superbon there. Good pressure from Marat, but I think he's got to do some level changes because Superbon is doing a really good job with the long guard and leaning backwards to evade the shots. Does it again off the low kick. It's sometimes very interesting when we get such different styles facing one another. Got the Muay Thai style versus more of a Dutch style, although Grigorian is from Armenia. Marat Grigorian and I actually have a shared opponent. We both fought Sergey Adamchuk. I fought Adamchuk twice in Glory, both times for the featherweight title. But Adamchuk actually moved up and fought Grigorian at lightweight and defeated him. Controversial decision. It was very close, but nonetheless impressive because Grigorian is one of the most feared fighters at this weight class. I love Superbon's ability to go from front kick to long guard. He makes it very difficult for anybody to get off any great offensive techniques because he keeps them at bay with the front kick. He can push out with the long guard, and then he just leans his head backwards. It's a little slip on a high kick. I've done that numerous times. It's always a little bit embarrassing when you fall. And I try to remind my students that if they fall in class, I'm going, well, at least you didn't have thousands of people in the stadium watching you. Nice uppercuts there from Grigorian, putting better pressure on now. I think from that range, that's where he's got to get everything going really quite tight so that Superbon does not have the ability to just easily back up. It also makes it harder for Superbon to land that signature high kick. Round number 1 complete. We're going to skip by all the replays and jump straight into round number 2. Here we go. That was a close first round, very close. If I had to give an edge to somebody, I'd probably go Superbon. But again, I'm not really scoring as I commentate these. I'm just watching, pointing out things that I see. Grigorian did land some really good uppercuts at the end of the round, so maybe that was enough for him. Either way, very close round. Probably could have gone either way. Back and forth with the low kicks. Definitely a little bit slippery. Sometimes the logos on the canvas are extra slippery. I've been in a few matches before when anytime you touch your foot to them, you slide out and you almost have to make it a tactical game plan at that point to put your opponent there, but not fall there yourself. I love how Superbon, like Buakaw, gets the knees off. No massive setup. He just steps in, throws it, kind of takes control of the opponent's head, but doesn't really hold because you're not technically allowed to hold. So you have to kind of hit and just get the shot to land without actually grabbing. We saw some really nice left round kicks there from Superbon. Eats an uppercut. I think Grigorian's got to go with the uppercut as a massive game plan. Probably a switch from uppercut to body hook would be a really good transition, or the opposite way. Good, another uppercut lands. Marat Grigorian's last fight was a matchup against Sidichai, who is also one of the kingpins at the 154-pound weight class. He actually defeated him with a KO, and I believe that was their 6th fight together. Sidichai winning, I think, their first 4, maybe losing 1 by very close decision. If you fight somebody enough times, eventually, if the skill levels are somewhat close, I feel like the guy who's not as good will get the win. Massive skills from Grigorian, but he does struggle with the Thai style a little bit more, I think. It's right in there. He's got to do his work. I don't think he should be letting Superbon get his back off the ring ropes, really working to control the center of the ring. That's the range right there that he does not want to be at. Right here, perfect. Just keep pressuring. Make sure that Superbon can't circle away. Good uppercut again from Grigorian. I think one of the main ways he's struggling right now is those knees. The knees that are coming with no setup. When you see something like that, you want to go for a straight arm, like a long guard right to the chest. That would be his go-to defense instead of staying shelled up. Moving into round number 3. Very, very tight fight so far. I'm going to say Superbon looks a little bit tired. Mostly because normally he throws up many head kicks per round. That's one of his most solid moves. And we're seeing very little of them. But the thing about the high kick, just like that, is it is a bit more fatiguing. And I'm wondering why he's not throwing. And I'm just going, his pace is a little slower. And maybe that's the reason. Maybe just a little fatigue happening. Either way, he's definitely not dominating this fight the way he did the last one. And this 3rd round right now, I would have to say Grigorian's definitely winning. The last round was once again a very close fight, or close round. This is exactly where Grigorian wants to be. He wants to be right in there where those knees are going to be a little harder to land, where the front kicks are difficult to land. You should almost just get that high guard up and just pressure straight in, get back to this range. This is perfect for him. I think he just needs to switch levels a little bit more with his hands. He's only targeting the head as far as I can see. Good job on those uppercuts, of course. Look at this. It's Superbon pushing forward. No control of the neck allowed as you're throwing knees under 1FC kickboxing rules. This is not the fight I would have expected. Last time it was more Superbon maintaining the distance. Now he's happy to just stand right in this zone where Marat Grigorian wants to be. Again, I'm going to go back to maybe a little fatigued. Why can this happen to a fighter? Why can you be fatigued even if you put in a good training camp? It's so hard to figure out. It's so hard to dial in on the exact reason. It could be the weight cut was a bit more of a struggle. Could be you have a little bit of a bug, a little illness. There's so many factors you can never really dial in, assuming that you know you put the hard work in and you trained as hard as you should have. I'd love to see some body shots from Grigorian. He's getting down to the leg, but not really attacking the body, and I feel like it's open, especially once he finishes one of those uppercuts. I think that was a round for Grigorian. Again, I'm not scoring the way I should be, but it looked pretty clear. I didn't see anything massive from Superbon land, and the pressure, the uppercuts, the low kicks, which kind of looked like they could have done some damage. It all looked like it was from Grigorian. Yeah, they don't like when you even grab for anything. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm not a big fan of these new rules. That there was even a control of the head and a knee, which you're not allowed to do. And you saw Grigorian look at the ref. The one thing about Grigorian when he starts trucking forward is he's not getting his head off the center line, and he's walking straight into that jab of Superbon's. I wouldn't say it's a super dangerous jab, but he scored a few times there, which doesn't really need to happen. All Grigorian has to do is just a little drop of the head. He's really putting that pressure. Good body shot before the uppercut there. Just created the opening by going down. I mean, at this point, halfway through round number 4, it would be very easy to say Superbon won the first, the second, Grigorian won the third, and he's on his way to winning the 4th right now. So we could end up in a 5th round where that's the round that matters. I'm really going to go with the fatigue of Superbon here is what's playing out, what's the big factor, because even though his kicks, look at those kicks, they still look beautiful. There's still this fatigue-looking quality about him. Even when he gets hit with the low kicks or the body kicks, he's not absorbing them well. It looks like it's taking, like even that right there, it's taking a lot of energy for him to stay solid with his body. Good cross there, down low from Grigorian. And that second round was a close one. I mean, the first and the second were very close, but there was an argument there for Superbon. This could be Grigorian even up. But for argument's sake, if this round continues this way, we're going to say 2 apiece. Yeah, you can tell somebody's fatigued in Superbon when he's just having trouble keeping his hands up. He even just dropped his head level and took some shots off the forehead instead of blocking. Here we go into the 5th round. Let's say it's 2 apiece right now. I think that's a fair assessment. What Superbon got left in the tank. It's Grigorian early on who's looking for the pressure forward. Superbon, it's got to be so frustrating as a Thai fighter when you throw the knee and you've controlled the head, but you have to let go so quick. It takes away such a vital part of striking sports, in my opinion, to not allow that. The old school rule of 3 seconds I thought was great if you don't want to have a bunch of clenching. So a solid warning there. I always find it a little funny when the refs kind of shove fighters back, especially when you have somebody fatigued like Superbon. You're like, man, you might take some wind out of their chest just a little bit. They have to regain their balance. That left round kick of Superbon, if Grigorian could just, instead of blocking it, cross block and scoop at the same time, then he could open up Superbon for a whole bunch of counters. Ooh, a good uppercut again. And the high kick comes from Marat, not from Superbon. I gotta say, if this fight continues this way, it's could potentially be a bit of an upset. I would assume after the last fight, with the dominant performance from Superbon, that would have been a kind of run through Grigorian situation, but he's got some work to do, I feel like, in this last minute to just put a stamp on, yeah, this 5th round is mine. He landed a low kick, but took one back that looked like he took it worse. He kind of buckled. Nice knee there. Head off the center then. That was slick. The thing about the kickboxing rules generally is these left round kicks which he's throwing are not necessarily scoring, because it's all about the damage. Damage is the priority. If Marat lands an uppercut and snaps the head, and then Superbon lands 2 or 3 round kicks to the arm, but there's no visible damage happening, a judge is actually supposed to score in favor of Marat. I'm definitely going to be looking in the comments at your guys' opinion, no matter what the decision is on this fight. Let's see if anybody thinks that the decision is wrong, or who you think won, because this is a close contest, but I'm kind of thinking that 3, 4, 5 could have gone the way of Marat. We'll see. Here we go. Make sure you guys comment below to let me know. Is it right? Is it wrong? It's Superbon. How about that? It's not the way I would have scored it, I don't think, but there we go. Throw those comments down, guys. I'll see you back here soon for another video.